If you have a problem with me working with Cash App, wait till you hear about a guy named Jeff Bezos who owns this platform. But speaking of everyone's daddy, Trump is back, boys. And honestly, it fucking... Oh, God, I love it. I love it. Let's watch.
And welcome to Hannity. And tonight we are broadcasting...
We went from Edinburgh to Edinburgh.
From the South Texas airport. We're only a few miles from the U.S.-Mexico border, where for the entire hour we will be joined by the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, along with the Texas Governor, Greg Abbott, and we'll also ask the President about some other questions, other issues of the day. But, of course, Donald Trump, no stranger to the southern border, after his predecessor, Barack Obama, left him with an absolute mess. President Trump, he made it his top priority to secure our nation's borders. And that means enforce laws, protect our sovereignty, protect our borders. He restricted asylum cases. He stopped Obama's disastrous catch and release program. He instituted what was known as the Stay in Mexico policy for new migrants. He negotiated deals with several Latin American countries to expedite.
Dude, they want him to be back so bad. Like, they're like, I get it. Like, I get where Sean Hannity's coming from. Like, he wants him to be back so bad. And there's two different reasons. For me, it is not because of ratings, because my ratings are better since Trump has been gone, better than ever before. Let's be real. I genuinely miss him. And I think Sean Hannity genuinely misses him too. And then there's also on top of that a financial imperative. Like, for a lot of the media, they want him to be back because all of these other conservatives are so boring. And all these politicians are so boring. When it's business as usual politics, it's not sexy. There's not enough to fill a 24/7 news cycle. Donald Trump is a content machine. So that's precisely why CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, they've all suffered. Their ratings have gone to shit. And that's because they don't have their Trumpy back. So, like, I think Sean Hannity both loves Donald Trump, like I do, okay? Like, has a personal admiration for his dumpy, like I do, okay? Because, like, I have sexual urges when I see Donald Trump. He's just so hot. But then also, Sean has sexual urges as well. He wants to suck his toes. But also, he likes the ratings, too. So, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm excited.
The deportation of illegal immigrants. He successfully built nearly 500 miles of new border wall. And this is important because he told migrants around the world, do not come to America illegally. He was very clear. Don't make this dangerous trip. Don't send your children unaccompanied.
Okay, I don't care about this stuff, okay? I don't care about this stuff because it's like, you know, who gives a shit? I want him. I don't care about you.
6 times.
Red Flintstone looking motherfucker. I want to see Donald Trump.
Joe Biden has never visited, not once. Just think about that. Now, tonight, we're here of the crowd of great Americans, including many friends of President Trump. I see my friend Louis Gohmert is in the crowd. Congressman Billy Long, he is here with us. Governor Abbott will join us on this stage.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. Look at this guy. I mean, look, how can you not love American politics when we have characters like this dude, okay? Like, this is actually like, this dude is straight up an alien that you would have in Star Wars, okay? My man is built like a goddamn Jabba the Hutt looking character. This is like,
half a year, boys.
This is what it looks like when you are building a human out of hamburger meat, but it's really hot out, so it starts melting, okay? It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome, dude. It's great. Does he have a $5 bill in his pocket?
On the stage, but first...
I didn't even realize what's going on there. Did someone give him an IRL dono?
First, joining us right now, right here in South Texas, the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
So are we judging people on how good politician is by looks? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. but in a positive way.
Wow. This is a big crowd.
He looks good. He looks good. He like slimmed down a little bit, you know?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Look at him. Look at him. He's so happy. He's so happy to be in his crowd, in the zone, dude.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Wow. What a group.
Hasan Modi being Modi in India.
Look at that. Can Joe Biden do that?
For doing the
Huh?
job, Saj.
Can Joe Biden walk up a ramp like that? I think not. I think not, folks. Can Joe Biden tell you that it's the top of the hour and there's a 60-second ad break coming right now? Can he? Y'all missed that? Can Joe Biden inform you that if you want to avoid the ads, an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe, either for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Thank you, Phil Aesthetics, for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. Can Joe Biden tell you you can use an ad blocker or a VPN? Probably not.
8 months.
No matter what you believe, the ad break still comes for you. Here's the ad now.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Wow.
Bussy Blunts with the 7. Thank you.
Okay, I just have one minor complaint. I did not get that reaction when I came out.
It's actually funny. Look at them, dude. They're in such... This is such a... Dr. Rom, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gift us. Such a jovial mood for both of them.
Good work, bro.
Also, look at the state police APC back there, dude. Texas DPS, like they're flexing all their toys. They're like,
he wore a
this is what you get if you come here illegally, migrant.
Thank you.
Mr. President, great to have you.
Hi, Sean.
Boy, you know, I guess one question.
Thank you, Anika
I asked this crowd, do you miss them yet? I think I know the answer.
Do you miss me yet? So the question I have before we even get into this, I mean, I miss them. You know that. You know that already. I miss them so much. I want to kiss them. Okay? But the question I have for this crowd always is like, what specifically do you hate about Joe Biden's policies
6 months
that makes you want Donald Trump to be president again? What has Joe Biden done, or what areas has he not done enough in that cause you to want Donald Trump to be president again? Because I know people get mad at me for this. I know that like there are neoliberals who get mad when I say this stuff, but ultimately, this is a question I always have for Republicans. Like, why don't you just vote for Democrats? If you just want like lower taxes and deregulation, why don't you just vote for Democrats? The difference between the Democratic Party is that they unironically do believe in austerity. Okay, they genuinely do believe in austerity. They're going to implement maybe minor tax increases, maybe minor tax increases. And also on top of that, you don't get the extra racism spice. And that's it. Like, people won't call you a racist.
1 more month until our child enters the world, hassle.
And with respect to like Joe Biden, who has done a decent job in certain areas, like, for example, pushing for a solid recovery package through budget reconciliation. I need people to tell me, identify, and tell me why that's bad. Okay? I need Joe Biden voters or Donald Trump voters to sit around in a circle and explain to me why it's bad that, the Democrats are trying to push for a fat infrastructure package. Okay? And I need them to describe to me why Donald Trump would be better. There is absolutely no shot that a Republican would be able to tell me that Joe Biden so far has been worse than Donald Trump for them.
Look at the top
without
of his head,
utilizing just random culture war talking points like, "I, Mr. Potato Head, no longer has a wee-wee. I need my Mr. Potato Head to have a fat hog, veiny, juicy, thick.
September 9th,
I need to think about Mr. Potato's cock."
Gary and I were skating at a hospital
Or
on top of a
CRT,
huge hill.
brother, critical racism theory, brother. That's what I need. I need Donald Trump to come back and finish CRT. It's like,
Purina helps my dog.
how does that impact your life in any meaningful capacity? What do you think CRT is? What do you think Joe Biden has done personally with respect to critical race theory? Like, what is critical race theory? If you say Joe Biden's going to take our guns away, what has he done to take your guns away? Donald Trump, unironically, in the first 4 years of his presidency, at a certain point, tried to implement red flag laws and got bump stocks banned. So right now, I mean, we're still in the beginning phases of the Biden presidency, but he has done more
Welcome back at Hasanabi.
to ban certain parts of guns, basically, than Joe Biden has. Okay?
W000000000 4 months B.
If you're going to tell me that Joe Biden is doing critical race theory by, I don't know, defunding the police, then I need them to describe to me exactly how Joe Biden has defunded the police or even advocated to defund the police when he, one, got a cop to be his vice president, and two, literally ran on increasing the police budget. I'm not saying Joe Biden and Donald Trump are the same.
I fucking love
but it is always wild to me when I hear Republicans talk about how poor of a job Joe Biden is doing when he's doing exactly what they would want him to do. It's just like the seasoning is different. You know what I mean? If Joe Biden was like, "We're increasing police budgets, Jack, because these blacks are unruly," then everyone would be like, "Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, brother." But he's just like, "We're increasing police budgets, Jack, because they need training." And then all the neoliberals are like, "Yes, this is great. Oh my God, thank God." And all the Republicans are like, "I hate this." But ultimately, police budgets increase. Donald Trump moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, which kickstarted a lot of the final iteration of the Palestinian Israel massacres that Israel engages in against Palestinians. Okay, and this iteration of the apartheid state in Palestine. Okay, not like Joe Biden moved the embassy back. It's not like Joe Biden was like, "Yeah, that was a bad move. That was a misstep. We're going to roll that back immediately and normalize relations with the region, and you know, scale back on the amount of money that we give to Israel unconditionally." He didn't do any of that. He increased weapons sales to Israel. So the only difference there was that you know, Donald Trump would say, "Palestinians are dogs. They're gonna die. We need to give all the weapons to Israel. We need to give all the weapons to Israel, folks." And Joe Biden's like, "Come on, Jack, we got to stay out of this. We got to stay out of this issue, Jack." And then keep pumping funds into Israel and also keep selling them weapons. So what's up?
Hi, chat.
It just makes no sense. Anyway, having said all of that, let's even if you're going to talk about like you know, nepotism. Liberals love talking about nepotism. Virtually, I think there was an ethics committee. There was like a bipartisan ethics committee / group of individuals that were really upset, genuinely upset with the nepotism happening in the Trump administration. They recently put out a report. I can't remember where it was. I was reading this. I can't remember the name of it, where they talked about how virtually every single member of Joe Biden's cabinet has family members in lower levels of government now. Like, everybody does it. Everybody does it. Nereye? Full blown. So let's get started.
Yep.
One, the day you and Melania Trump came down that escalator, you talked about securing our country's borders. You had to fight hard to get the money to build 500 miles of wall, to stay in Mexico policy. You built the wall. You ended catch and release. Now we see what's happening. Your reaction to all of it.
Well, there has never been a better time 6 months ago, and there's never been a worse time. We had the tightest security. You could come into our country legally. But you know what else we were stopping? Massive amounts of drugs, human traffickers, bad people, criminals. They're emptying their jails into our country. You know,
this is categorically false. Under the Trump administration, whether it was because QAnon was interfering with sex trafficking investigations or not, I don't know. I mean, I know they were, but not to the same degree that it would like hurt their overall operations, or whether because most of their focus was on non-violent, non-criminal immigrants. They were just simply living within U.S. borders. But under the Trump administration, less sex traffickers were caught than any other administration.
Haha, cat.
Straight up. If you look at the numbers, the Trump administration caught less child sex traffickers than any other administration.
13 months Simbo King Poggies.
President Biden has had harsh words with the Trump administration for his approach to government ethics, calling it the most corrupt administration in modern history. I've said this before, like, it wasn't that Trump's administration was the most corrupt administration in modern history. They were just not good at hiding the corruption and didn't really care. Do you understand? That's the difference. That's the difference, boys. Okay? They just didn't care, and they didn't try to hide it. They just did it out in the open.
Other countries are emptying their jails into our country. We never had it better, and now we've never had it worse. In the history of our country, I just saw, we were with the governor, the lieutenant governor, we were with Ken, we were with a whole group, I think the largest contingent of Congress people ever at the border, from what I understand. I think they're mostly here, too, by the way. I see them, a lot of them right in front of me. But we had the largest... We even have Doc Ronnie, right? So my doctor in the White House who became a congressman.
By the way, Ronnie, would you mind giving Joe a cognitive test? President Sippy Cup, I don't know how well he's going to do, but anyway, I won't get you in trouble with these comments.
We aced it. I think I can say that I aced it.
Did he get...
I love that. Literally, I know 3 people that died of COVID last winter. What the fuck's he saying?
He didn't get one question wrong, did he? 30 out of 30.
Wow. You have such a big, beautiful brain. I have such a big, beautiful brain. I aced the cognition test. Come on, dude. It's so good. That's so good. I actually don't know how Hannity can talk so clearly when he has Donald Trump's entire dick, ballsack, and asshole shoved directly down his throat. It is wild that you can hear the clarity still.
Yee.
It's wild. And the boots. Okay? Whole.
And they...
Mr. President, you were so good at acing your cognition test. Biggest brain, boldest brain.
It did get a little more difficult after you got by 15, I would say. But
I heard the first 3 questions are, is it a giraffe or an elephant, right?
Well, you know, that's what the fake news does. They take the first 2 or 3 questions and they put them in. But let me tell you, they would not get those last 15 right, certainly not the last 10, that I can tell you. But anyway, but we have a border that's very bad right now and very dangerous for our country. And
Hello, Hassan.
Fortunately, we have a lot of great people in Texas, in particular. The job they're
You know what's fascinating? All of a sudden, Biden is blaming you for the current crisis. And
it's called misinformation.
It's fake
They've
news.
done it for 5 years, 6 years. Russia, Russia, Russia. And I told you the story. I told Sean the story. I'd go around, people would say, "Sir, do you know anything about Russia?" This is when I'm running, years ago. I'd say, no. A month later, "Do you know anything about Russia?" Another guy comes up, "Sir, do you know anything about..." Then I get a call from him, "Do you know anything about Russia?" I said, "What's going on with Russia?" And it was the Russia hoax. That was misinformation. Now they're saying it was the Republican Party that wanted to defund the police. You hear that, Billy? Billy's not a big defunder of the police, I can tell you.
Wait, but the Republican Party actually did advocate to defund the police. If defunding the police means cutting funds to, or cutting the raises that cops were going to get, like the increase in the police budget, because that is what that means in the eyes of Republicans, then yes, Democrats actually wanted to increase funding to the police, and Republicans wanted to decrease funding to the police because they never wanted to pass legislation that increased spending. So the irony is that the irony is actually that Republicans did do this.
The Republican Party wants to defund the police. This just started yesterday. I don't know how they're getting away with that one, but all you have to do is, you know, the good thing with you, you take the old clips. There's no getting away.
I played the greatest hits last night, sir. Yes, I played them all. You know, when you look at what else is happening, too, and it's interesting that states like Florida and South Dakota and many others, they're offering Texas and Arizona support now.
That's right.
And their law enforcement, because in the dark of night, they're taking illegal immigrants, flying them into these states, and now the states are responsible for food and shelter and health care and education. They can't afford it.
And the states don't even know they're coming. They bring people in, and the states don't even know. They say, "Here, you're taking this." It's an allotment. It's called an allotment. And the governors, Republican governors, are, by the way, you look at the well-run states, it's all done by, for the most part, Republican governors. All of them. In terms of crime, in terms of everything else. No, we have great Republican governors. We really do.
So the policies that have been reversed, Joe hasn't come to the border. You've been here many times. Kamala really...
Like, dude, I love that they were so adamant about how symbolic and empty of a gesture it was that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez went to the border and went to a detention center and cried. And now they're crying that they're not doing the symbolic and empty gestures of going to the border. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It is the best thing. It is the best thing that could have ever happened. Okay?
4 months
Brilliant.
watching you yell at chat pogo.
He didn't come to the border. It seemed like a photo op to me. What would you want them to know that they don't know, or maybe they do know and they don't seem to care about?
Well, Kamala wouldn't have come if she didn't hear I was coming. I was invited by the governor.
I'm gonna come. Are you saying it? Kamala wouldn't have come. I'm gonna come.
And I said yes. And I said yes, to my honor, because we were very proud of the job we did. Nobody's ever done the job that we've done. We built over, now I guess it's close to 500 miles of wall. And we were going to build an extra 200 because we had money left over. We were going to do an extra 200. And nobody's ever done this. And all he had to do is go another 2 months and the wall would have been totally completed. And by the way, they have to paint the wall. I'm going to give that job to Brian. We have to paint, great congressman. We have to paint the wall because it's starting to rust. It's supposed to be painted. And they don't even want to paint the wall. It's so disgraceful. 2 more months.
Dude, this type of like aesthetic stuff is so good because like you do see the rust on the walls and you think like, yeah, he's right. He's right. We should paint it. We should paint it. Like he's right. And it's also the type of stuff that a Republican would care about. Like, the wall straight up does not stop any drug trafficking, okay? One, because you can use slingshots or, you know, tunnel under it. But most importantly, because drug trafficking does not happen across the border via like illegal entry through border crossings, 97% of all drugs trafficked into the United States comes from regular ports of entry. Okay? And this is something I've talked about a million times over. So the border wall, you could say wrong all you want, but it's the truth. It's actually the truth. The overwhelming majority, if not nearly the entirety of drugs that is trafficked into the United States, get trafficked through regular ports of entry. And that's not my numbers that I made up in my, libtard brain. These are numbers that are coming from the Department of Homeland Security. And that didn't change under Donald Trump either. It's not like they were giving out different information under the Trump administration. No. So that's the brilliance of the wall, because it pretty much does absolutely nothing, and it's purely symbolic. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. There are a lot of areas that go over Texas land, which Texans are not even happy about. That's the part of the wall that we don't really talk about. Texans love having their own land and dominating their own land, right? There's big chunks of the border wall that would have to go over
Happy 3 months.
The land that Texans own, which is quite the controversial thing. Yeah, eminent domain, baby.
Hey, yo.
I love that Republicans refuse to fix infrastructure unless it's something that is purely symbolic, like a stupid wall that doesn't prevent anything, and painting that stupid wall that will do absolutely nothing. Like we have bridges that are crumbling all around the country. We have dams that are in a state of disrepair, and Republicans are like, hell yeah, paint that goddamn wall red, white, and blue, brother. I don't care how many billions we'll spend on it. Like, if Democrats were like, we need to be painting this wall, and we're going to paint it rainbow colors in honor of the LGBT community members that we love, okay? In honor of the trans Guatemalan that's like escaping violence, who will look at that rainbow and be like, oh, fuck, I can't come in. I don't want to be, I'm not allowed to be in this country. We hate
Love
you.
Hasan. You're like a big brother to me. Keep doing what you
Republicans would lose their minds and be like, this is such a waste of funds. It's a waste of funds. Liberals would be on board.
Has Sammy.
Anyway. MS-13 is gay, brother. We don't want them gay criminals coming in. MS-13, you know what that stands for? Male sex 13. You better stop that now. Better stop that male sex from happening. Okay, let's keep going.
Everything would have been completed, and they said, just like with the Keystone Pipeline, they're not going to do it. 48,000 jobs out the window, and an environmental pipeline, much better than other forms of transportation for the product. So when you look at what's happening, and inflation is going to be the killer of them all, because inflation is going to destroy our country. The border is going to destroy our country.
I want to get to all of that.
Wait. I wonder how we have such inflation now. I wonder how we could stop inflation.
Hey, Hassie,
if only there was a mechanism to control inflation. Oh, wait, the same Fed chairman under Donald Trump was routinely warning about inflation after our endless quantitative easing policies. But Donald Trump wanted to keep interest rates as low as humanly possible for the duration. Bitcoin? What? No, I'm not talking about Bitcoin, man. So again, if we have a what Bitcoin, raise the interest rates, baby. Let's do it. I don't care. Anyway, so everybody's like, hell yeah, you're right. Inflation is crazy, and then it's unmanageable, brother. It's like, okay, why did that happen? And also, I mean, it's not even just Trump, by the way. That is a consistent policy for every single president. That has just been our monetary policy for the past 30 years, 40 years. Well, not 30, 40, but you know what I mean. So, of course, you don't care. Yeah, it's because I'm rich. The rich actually love higher interest rates. You're right. That's what the wealthy are advocating for. And to in an effort to curb inflation, increasing interest rates. It's anyway. Let's keep going.
If Donald Trump, and we had a hard time getting video. There were even congressmen, and I know Louis was part of it. I know that Senator Ted Cruz was down here, and many others. I'm not ignoring a lot of you. And I know that if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't allow our cameras in the new cages they were building for kids. Yeah. Now, in 2018, they accused you of putting children in cages. It turns out the video was from 2014. Right. You were not president. Now, Joe Biden is building these cages in the middle of a pandemic, high rate of positive cases of COVID, kids living on top of each other. Imagine for a second, what would the press have been like and Democrats been saying if you had built these new cages, which they're building all over here?
But I really had that because in 2018 and even after 2018, they came out with these horrible pictures. And somebody came up and said, well, it was the contractor. He said, but I built those cages in 2014 during Obama's administration. And it wasn't Trump, it was Obama that built those cages. Got a little bit lucky. And after we said that, all of a sudden the whole cage thing went away. But now they're building them again because there's so many kids coming in. And you know, many of the kids are on suicide watch, something we've never heard of. Think of that. It's so miserable, it's so hot, it's like hell. I mean, I just walked, I will say, although right now I think it was hotter in New York.
Dude, those kids were so happy under Trump, though. Like, those kids were literally the happiest. When they were being detained under the Trump administration's detention centers, as a deterrence policy, when they were being separated from their mothers and fathers and other family members that they crossed the border with, they were like, oh man, poggers, I love being thrown into a prison cell away from my only family members that I trust.
New York than it was in Texas. It was 101 degrees in New York.
Again, it's like, dude, how can you say this? It blows my fucking mind that this is basically Obama built the cages version 2.0. Okay? Obama built the cages. Well, you use them, and now you're getting mad that Joe Biden is using them. I don't understand it. Aren't you also saying that our borders are overfilled? That people are coming in? Like, it makes no sense. Make this make sense.
This was like, I got here, it was like cool. But their kids are on suicide watch. Think of that.
Sad.
It's a terrible thing.
Look at 90% of the heroin crosses that southern border.
Yeah.
Now fentanyl. We've had the two biggest fentanyl busts in the history of the country. We're losing over 300 Americans a week.
Wait, I'm confused. Isn't that a shout out to Joe Biden then? Like, so under the Joe Biden administration, we had two of the biggest fentanyl busts? Yeah, 85% of the fentanyl that came across the U.S.-Mexico border in 2017 entered through the San Diego port of entry. Yes, I already mentioned this. The overwhelming majority of drugs that came into the country has historically always come in through regular ports of entry, not over the border wall. You would not be able to transport that massive amount of cargo by tucking it under the bags of abuelas, okay? That's not how that works. People make it seem like they're just like, oh yeah, it was just like a bunch of Mexican old ladies are just like shoveling coke into the country or something.
In some cases more.
It's the worst thing of all. A sheriff just said at a meeting we had a roundtable, and these sheriffs are incredible. The law enforcement in Texas and other places is so incredible.
Thank you.
And he said, and I didn't even know this, he said, for the end of our administration, we had fentanyl virtually stopped. Now he said it's coming in at levels that we've never seen before. We had it stopped. It was very tough to get. It was nasty. Getting through our border, especially with almost the 500 miles of wall, it was nasty to get through. And these people, and I gave them the right to stop people. Now, they're not even allowed to talk to people. You're not allowed to talk to people. But again, people coming in is bad. Prisoners and real serious criminals of the world, murderers, walking in. I'll never forget, I'm watching, of all places, CNN, okay? This was a short-term watch. And they had a reporter. No, this is before.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, no. Well, now their ratings are down 79%. This was. But I'm watching CNN, and a woman reporter is asking, what did you do? What did you do? It's a very famous lip. And this guy looks at her, murder. She said, what? Murder. And she immediately, they cut off the camera.
Come on, dude. Come on. Is I will destroy you a Turkish meme? What? I don't know. They probably mean like you're pussy or something, Amaranth. Like they're probably saying like, if they're saying it in Turkish, I mean. Anyway, the Turks are they're gonna lose their minds now that you said that. Amurant. Dünya ahiret bacımız Amurant. Burada arkadaşlar. I said Amaranth is our worldwide and forever. How do I explain Budja? Budja means like a woman that you defend. Like it's not like your immediate family member, but like someone you respect and defend.
That was the end of that. But we have thousands of hardened criminals, like we don't even have in this country practically. MS-13, we took them out by the thousands. You know, I told the story just now, we had the border. The three countries, primarily Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, MS-13 and other criminals were coming out, and they wouldn't take them back in the Obama administration. They refused to take them back.
This is like, all of this is a lie. The Obama administration deported more than the Trump administration did, even in its first 4 years. Okay? Part of that was because of border crossings being designated as deportations. Okay? That's what increased the numbers. But also, the Obama administration, the biggest difference between the Obama administration and the Trump administration was their hyper focus on criminal immigrants. Immigrants that had a record or had done a crime. Trump expanded on that to include undocumented immigrants living in U.S. borders, no matter how long they've been here, doesn't matter. He wanted everyone to get deported. He wanted to use ICE as a deportation force, kind of like the Gestapo, and focused on every single person. This is the legal difference between what Donald Trump did and what Obama did, okay? He also, while simultaneously saying that, like, Obama is not doing enough, or Joe Biden is not doing enough to deport immigrants, he keeps saying how much they're deporting immigrants and how much harm they're causing to undocumented immigrants. It literally does not make sense. It physically cannot these two thoughts you can't have inside of your mind at the same time. Crossing the border for the first time is a civil offense, so anyone caught isn't guaranteed counsel.
They would have planes on the runway, so when our plane would want to land, they couldn't land. They would stop the buses. And I said, well, do we pay these countries any money? They wouldn't take them back at the beginning of the three countries. I know the heads of the three countries. They're smart. They're very street smart dictators, okay? But they're very street smart people. And I like them. They like me. We get along. But, you know, it's like business is business.
You know they're evil.
Hasanabi contradicts himself, lol. Wait, you think I'm contradicting myself? Or you think, or wait, why did I click on myself? Or you think Trump is contradicting himself? Because that's what Trump is doing. He just keeps contradicting himself over and over again. And it doesn't make any sense because, like, on the one hand, he's talking about how senseless the brutality is towards immigrants under the Obama administration. He built the cages, And Joe Biden did right now. Oh, the kids are in such bad situation. They're suicidal. While in the middle, he's like, but they're not doing enough. Like, what do you want? You want him to fucking directly murder the kids or something? Like, is that what you want? And I am all the way over here on the left, on the leftmost side, yet you can be, where I think both of those administrations have been incredibly reactionary towards undocumented immigrants, right? So I think both are bad, okay? One is also aesthetically worse than the other.
Bad Trump good.
But both are bad across the board. There are minor differences or marginal differences in between the way that either administration has dealt with undocumented immigrants, but those differences lead to drastically different outcomes for the people on the ground. Certainly, that is not something that I will say is insignificant. Those are definitely significant changes for those people living through them. But ultimately, both are still doing a lot of harm, except Donald Trump is looking at that and saying, no, it's good when we do it, and it's bad when they did it.
But they're not dumb.
I don't know. They're not. Look, we got along. I said, how much do we pay those countries? $500 million, sir. But what does that have to do with it, sir? It has everything to do. Don't pay anymore. We didn't pay. And then I was called, stop payment. No, it's called, we stopped payment. You ever hear the term, we stopped payment? And we stopped payment. And then the next day I get a call from all three. President, you stopped payment. No more money coming into the three countries. I said, that's right, you're not taking your criminals back, but we would love to. Nobody asked us properly. We would love to take MS-13 back. They are wonderful people. I said, fine. We sent them back by the thousands. They took them by the thousands. But nobody's ever done that before. Nobody ever did it before.
Do you have a theory, an idea? Because I really can't think of one, except that, you know, I think in years gone by, I would argue that there were Republicans that wanted illegal immigration because they get cheap labor. And I think that Democrats want to provide something of great worth, which would be amnesty, citizenship.
And you have rhinos. You do have rhinos. Look, the rhinos.
There's a lot of rhinos out there.
The rhinos sometimes, I may say it, the rhinos of these people, you don't have any rhinos in this room. We probably have 45 congressmen here and women.
My favorite
you don't have any rhinos in this group, but you have rhinos. I call them weak Republicans. They walk into the White House. I've been watching for 4 weeks now. They walk in, they meet Biden. He doesn't know what the hell's happening. They meet Biden. He's sitting, and they're talking about infrastructure. And finally, they walk out. They have a deal, and the deal is a terrible deal, but it's a deal. And it sort of reminds me of England a long time ago. We have a deal. We have a deal. You remember the deal they made with Germany? Not too good. That didn't work out too well.
What? If I don't understand what he's saying, there's no shot his stands get what he's saying here, okay? What is he even talking about? He doesn't mean Brexit, I don't think. Does he mean NATO? Like, what is he referencing? Appeasement? No, dude. He's not talking about appeasement. No shot. Are you guys serious? He is? Wait.
These people, you don't have any rhinos in this room. We probably have 45 congressmen here and women. You don't have any rhinos in this group, but you have rhinos. I call them weak Republicans. They walk into the White House. What the hell's happening? They meet Biden. He's sitting, and they're talking about infrastructure. And finally, they walk out. They have a deal. And the deal is a terrible deal, but it's a deal. And it sort of reminds me of England a long time ago. We have a deal. We have a deal. You remember the...
Absolutely 0% chance Trump knows what appeasement is.
Has buff.
Okay? No, I refuse to believe that appeasement is a concept that exists in Donald Trump's mind. You guys are unironically crazy if you think he knows what it is.
The deal they made with Germany, not too good. That didn't work out too well, right? But they reminded me, they walk out, we have a deal, we have a deal. And it was the typical names. There were a couple of good ones in there. I don't know how they got roped in, but they walk in. So they have a deal. And then Biden canceled the deal because the radical left said, you can't make that deal. That deal's no good. We want...
None of this is true, by the way. From the point of view of like what actually happened, I've moved beyond whether it was appeasement or not. And he's comparing Biden to Hitler or not. But what he's talking about is literally not true. What Joseph Robinette Biden did, which was a very smart tactical move, in my opinion, was to say, hey, here you go. I gave you your bipartisan deal, Jack. And then we're also going to do a simultaneous reconciliation package. And I'm not going to sign it if both aren't there. Both aren't on my table. Okay? Now, that was too powerful of a move. That was too alpha of a move for Joe Biden. Let's be real, which is precisely why he turned around and reneged that offer to the progressives, because that was going to be something for the progressives. That was a way to shut the annoying moderate centrist Democrats up, a way to show like bipartisanship, and now and then also get his larger infrastructure package through budget reconciliation. Now we'll see what actually happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but Trump is saying that he went back and he just lied to them or whatever. I don't think so. That's not true.
Want to spend $6 trillion.
Well, and most of it, they would backdoor everything they didn't get in.
My friend says reneged is a racist term. Is that true? What? It comes from negation. Negative.
Fucking Dono hassle everyone.
Your friend is a fucking idiot.
Russia, pogo.
No, it's not renegotiation. Renege can also mean like I don't even think it's no, renege doesn't mean renegotiate. It's to go back on a promise or a commitment. So you're wrong. It's to revoke.
In the deal, they would backdoor through the reconciliation process.
Well, we need better leadership at the Senate level. You need better leadership. You need somebody better than Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. Guys, English is my fucking second language, dude. How? How are we here? From Latin, negare, to deny, plus re, so to de-deny. Okay, that's why I said it comes from negation. Renege.
1-0.
Mitch McConnell can no longer do the job.
When you know, it was a very difficult process because I was covering it every night. And that was, the Congress was not assisting you for the money, for the border wall.
It's not short for renegotiation. Please stop.
Which was a signature promise that you made in 2016. But you found a way to get the money and build the wall.
So what I did is I got a big military budget approved, and I took it out of the military, because the way I look at it, this is defense. I spent 2.5 years winning lawsuits. We won all of the lawsuits. There were 11. We won every one of them. I started building the wall. It's 2 months from completion, and this guy stops it. And that's tragic, and it's dangerous for Texas and Arizona and every other state. It's tragic.
All right. All right, we're broadcasting from Edinburgh, Texas, right near